In this video, we are forecasting yet another major winter storm. According to the latest data, a bunch of people are going to receive incredible snowfall totals, a bunch of people are going to be impacted by a dangerous ice storm, and a bunch of people are going to get plain rain and thunderstorms. Which bunch of people do you belong to? And what exactly is a dangerous ice storm? All that and more coming up. Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. After this past weekend's historic blizzard, which broke the record in Boston for the snowiest January day ever, I decided to take a day off and spend some time with my family celebrating my son's first birthday. We've been talking about the potential for another big storm to come in after our nor'easter for a while, so I kept an eye on the models yesterday, hoping to see some sort of downtrend or a solution that led to a less impactful event. But that is not what happened. We've got a whole lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, here's a latest look at all the warnings and watches from the National Weather Service. And as you can see here, there's a lot of blue showing up. If your county is in the blue, you're under a winter storm watch there in Dodge City, Wichita, Kansas City. It means watch out, there might be a winter storm coming, okay? We're not completely confident enough to issue a winter storm warning, but we're getting there, okay? So stay tuned. Also, winter storm watch up here from Fargo to Grand Forks. And then if we go up here to the Pacific Northwest, we've got winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings around Seattle, okay? The piece of energy responsible for this is going to skedaddle down to the southeast and cause our major winter storm. Let's track it on the weather models. All right, starting off here on the Euro model briefly, so we can take a look at the upper air pattern to see what's going to cause this thing. Of course, if you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always going to be above my head. Let's go forward closer to when our storm starts, and you're going to see something over here really interesting. We've got a big ridge forming in the Pacific. If you live over here in the lower 48, that should start ringing bells, because whenever you see an intense ridge start to build up over here in the Pacific, it means that all those powerful storm systems that usually like to go up towards the North Pole are going to have a fun little slippy slide to slide down right into the lower 48. And that's exactly what we're going to start seeing, is not only pieces of energy coming down here and forming our storms like the one that we're going to see here in a couple days, but also all this cold air locked up in Canada is finally going to be let loose down into the lower 48, especially in the western and central portions of the US. Okay, so now we're looking at the NAM 3-kilometer model. This is what the radar could look like as we go into the future. It's not exact, but it gives us a good idea. We're starting off at 10 a.m. today. Let's fast forward a little bit into the 8 p.m. time frame, and you can see all of our snow over here in the Pacific Northwest. Once again, this is mainly going to affect areas in the higher elevations, but there's a clipper that's stealing some of that energy and causing some snow in North Dakota and Minnesota later tonight. But also what this is doing is this is dragging a big polar cold front with it that's going to bring a lot of cold air down. Now, eyeballs go down to Texas. Look at that. You see all this moisture and energy down here? We've got an upper level low down here spinning this way. We got a big area of high pressure over here spinning this way. That literally creates a waterfall of juicy Gulf of Mexico moisture streaming right into the central US. And of course, today between 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, that is going to spark a regional severe weather threat down here in southeast Texas. Watch as I put this into motion, okay? You see these little showers out here in the Gulf that are flying towards Texas, and then the main storm system's motion is kind of like to the east. Watch that, they kind of crash together. That tells me there's probably going to be enough wind shear out there and changing wind direction with height to produce a couple tornadoes. This is a marginal tornado threat, so there's no need to panic or do anything crazy. Just be weather aware today and make sure you have a way of getting warnings just in case that tornado warning does come through. But the big story here is all of the moisture that is being funneled into the central US, and almost perfectly that moisture meets up with our polar cold front right here in the central US and begins to spark our major winter storm. And guys, I'm not kidding. This is going to affect millions of people. We're going to see a lot of heavy snow, and I think some of you guys are going to see more snow totals by the end of this thing than you have seen in a very long time. And also, unfortunately, in the area between the warm air and the cold air, there's going to be a conflict zone where the mid-levels and the lower levels don't agree with each other, and we get some freezing rain and sleet on the surface. Some of these models today are showing what could be a truly crippling ice storm for somebody in the central US all the way up into the Ohio Valley, and then maybe even up here into the Northeast, guys. Once again, this is a large storm, very widespread. I don't use this language lightly. You guys know this. It is going to get hairy out there. And speaking of hairy, I've got to thank today's sponsor. Manscaped, the best in male grooming. They have absolutely hooked us up with some of the latest and greatest innovations in male grooming with their new Performance Package 4.0. These tools are all designed with your sensitive areas and hygiene in mind. Now, the main thing that comes with this kit is the lawnmower. This thing is waterproof, it has ceramic blades, it's lightweight, it's versatile, and look at this, it has a headlight on it. And with its skin-safe technology, you have to worry a lot less about those annoying nicks and cuts. Now, I'm really interested in this weed whacker. This thing also has that skin-safe technology, and Lord knows you don't want to cut your nose. Let's give it a whirl here. Woo! Yeah, it works, and it's not as uncomfortable as what I thought it was going to be. Not tugging on your nose hairs and all that stuff, it just cleanly cuts them off. Hey, not only do your sensitive areas require this stuff, they demand it. Head on over to manscaped.com and use promo code HALL to get 20% off, plus free shipping, plus 2 free gifts. Once again, when you use promo code HALL at checkout. That's manscaped.com, or you can just click that link down there in the description. Now that we've got our nose hairs trimmed, let's go ahead and get right back into the video. All right, let's get right into it here and start listing off your timing and impacts for this storm. Some of those first showers and thunderstorms are going to start popping up around 7 p.m. tomorrow. Guys, we're really close to this thing. And just general rain showers expected up here from Oklahoma into Missouri all the way up into Michigan. But very quickly, that cold air is going to take over on the northwest side of this thing and start producing moderate to heavy snow. This is going to be the first little punch, okay? We're going to talk a lot today about 2 pieces of energy. There's kind of going to be a 1-2 punch coming with this thing. And this is the first punch, okay? We're expecting rain on the southern side. So if you're down here in Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, there's a slight chance of some isolated severe weather with this, but for the most part, it's going to be rain. And then if you're on the northern side, back up here in Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, for example, anybody back behind this main area of precipitation, we're expecting some pretty cold temperatures, maybe some light snow, but really the heaviest impacted areas are going to be right in through here as we watch this thing not only knock you in the face with one big area of ice and snow, but then another one right after that, and this one's going to be the strong one, okay? This is the one we have to watch the closest here. It's important to note that this thing, unlike our storm that we saw on the northeast coast the other day, this is not a blizzard. All right, you guys aren't going to see 3 or 4 inch per hour snowfall rates. The reason we are expecting a lot of snow and ice out here is just because of the duration. All right, this thing is going to be sliding over the same areas over and over again for several hours. Now, this is a good model to determine the timing of everything, but it's not the best. The NAM is not the best at handling cold air. Okay, so if you're watching this and you're paying a lot of attention to the exact placement of the ice and snow here, don't worry too much about that because this model is once again not the best at handling cold air. So let's take a look at a better model here to give you a better idea of where that snow is going to fall and where the ice is going to be. Okay, so this is the Euro model. Our first punch comes together once again around 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Timing's perfect. We've got ice in St. Louis. We've got heavy snow in Fort Wayne. We've got heavy snow in Peoria, Illinois. We've got heavy snow all the way back here through Kansas and of course in the Colorado and Denver area as well. And then when that second punch comes in, man, this is when things really start to ramp up. Around 4 a.m. on Thursday, we're going to be talking about extremely heavy ice possibly from the Dallas region all the way up into southeastern Oklahoma, into northwestern Arkansas, extreme northwestern Arkansas, into southeastern Missouri, and then down across the Ohio River, guys. This is where I started to become concerned about this thing. Ice storms are the most dangerous kind of winter storm. They can cause power outages. They can bring down power lines. They can bring down main feeder lines and cause long-term power outages. They can cause damage to a lot of different infrastructure, and of course it makes travel almost impossible. I don't care what kind of vehicle you have. I don't care if you got chains on your four-wheel drive lifted truck. You are not going anywhere in over 3/4 of an inch of ice. The Euro is a little bit more south and east with the placement of the snow and the ice, and I like this solution a little bit better than the NAM that we just saw, but there's more models than this, and it's still weather model madness time. So let's look at all those wobbles as we compare the models. All right, here we are with our brand new experimental comparison angle here on the channel. Let me know if you guys like it. Let me know if there's anything I need to change here to make it easier on you. But this is a great way, I believe, to compare the models. We got the Euro over here. We got the GFS over here. What's the differences? Why are they different? Let's look at that now. 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. I don't see much of a difference at all here. This is kind of my point in showing this, at least with that first punch. that first area of ice and snow that we've been talking about, there is really no disagreement between any of our models other than the NAM. This should be a slam dunk forecast, okay? So our big storm that we were talking about in the East Coast, last week, that was a complex forecast. It was changing every day. There was a lot of crap going on, and it was a tough forecast. A lot of people missed it. This one should be a slam dunk, okay? There's not a lot of changes, and everything's pretty consistent right now. So, but let's take a look at that second punch. The only difference that I am seeing here between the Euro and the GFS is the GFS is a little bit more intense with the precipitation in Texas. Now we got a lot of Texans watching, okay? 7 a.m. we're going to have freezing rain falling in Dallas, okay? We're going to have some problems all the way through central Texas, and then up here in the Panhandle, we're going to have snow, okay? Possibly heavy snow falling at this time. The problem that we're trying to work out is not if it's going to happen, it's just when and how much are we going to get, right? GFS is a little bit more bullish with the amount of precipitation there, but the placement of the cold air and the warm air is almost exactly the same. Until we get out here on the main last frame, we're 90 hours out here on the Euro. This is where we start to see a little bit of a difference. Euro is back further north and west. GFS is further south and east. But remember, the difference is minimal. This brings a big ice storm along the Ohio River, and so does this one. Those little intricacies about which towns are going to be impacted the heaviest will be figured out by tomorrow. And now real quick, the GFS is over here, the NAM's over here. I just wanted to show you this because this is our extremes. This is the most southeast option, this is the most northwest option, and this is the difference between these two models. Once again, if I had to pick one here to make a forecast with, it's going to be the GFS. The NAM is too far to the north and west in my opinion. So we like the GFS. Let's watch the whole progression here. Once again, major ice storm ongoing around 10 a.m. on Thursday into Paducah, Kentucky, and into the Jonesboro, Arkansas area, all the way down into eastern and central Texas. Now, what happens in the future? Of course, this is going to affect the Northeast as well. GFS says snow in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, upstate New York, but potentially an ongoing ice storm in the Mid-Atlantic, in southeastern Pennsylvania, all the way up into New Jersey, New York, and southern New England. Obviously, the further north and east that we go, the less confident we are in the exact track of the storm because this is further away. This is still 100 hours down the road. There's going to be a lot more wobbles as we go into the future for you guys, but I promise I'm going to keep an eye on this as we go forward. Make sure you tune in to every video. All right, it's y'all's favorite time of the video. I'm going to shut up and just show you the pretty colors. This is the final total snowfall from the GFS, and yes, guys, you are 100% seeing it right. Widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow through a lot of northern Texas. All of Oklahoma is going to get more than 2 inches of snow, but once again, the more central you are in the state there, according to the GFS, we're getting closer to that 6 to 10 inch range. Central Missouri, you're in Snowtown, baby. Central Illinois, you're in Snowtown, baby. North Central Indiana and Northwestern Ohio, you are in Snowtown, baby. With some totals up there approaching 2 feet. The possibility is even there to add some totals to your big time snow over here in New England. That's the GFS. What about the Euro? Looks a little different, doesn't it? The bullseye area is pretty much exactly the same, but on the edges, we're seeing some differences. Less snow down here in Texas and Oklahoma. Still getting a bunch of snow in New Mexico and Colorado, but as you go off to the north and east, it wobbles a little bit different, okay? So we're not seeing any snow according to the Euro in southern New England. The NAM is definitely the most different here, okay? It's the outlier. It's the most furthest northwest. I don't believe that this is going to happen, but things could still change. Okay, so now you see all the variation between all of the models and all of the uncertainty that we still have. Now I'm going to show you the numbers that I actually like. Not the official forecast or the final call, but if I had to make a forecast right now, it would be based off of this. This is the national blend of models, okay? So over here in the higher elevations, we're going to see 6 to 12 inches. Of course, the higher you go, the closer we're going to get to that 12-inch mark, and maybe even some of you will get 2 feet of snow. But down here on the front range of Colorado, we're talking about 3 or 4 inches. How about you Amarillo with about 5 inches of snow? Oklahoma City also with about 5 or 6 inches of snow. Kansas City here with about 5 or 6 inches of snow. But Jefferson City, Missouri, we're talking about close to a foot of snow. It's Snowtown, baby. St. Louis, 8 inches. Bloomington, 14 inches. Indianapolis, this is going to be a tough forecast for you guys. I feel sorry for your local weathermen there because you are right on the line between getting a foot of snow or getting 6 inches of snow, or getting a big old bowl of nothing with some freezing rain. But if you're in Fort Wayne or South Bend up there in more northern Indiana, you're in Snowtown, baby. You're getting over a foot of snow from this thing. Toledo, Ohio, 16 inches. How about that? Detroit looks like they're going to get around a foot of snow, maybe. We're going further off to the north and east, so remember, this part's going to change quite a bit as we go into the future. But Toronto, I think you guys are going to get over a foot of snow. Buffalo, New York, you guys are going to get more than a foot of snow from this thing. Things get really questionable over here. As of right now, we're going with 4 or 5 inches in Boston and around a foot of snow in Bangor. What about them ice totals? Now, we don't have an official forecast for this just yet. This is going to take a little bit longer to really nail down the exact impacts with the ice here. But this is the GFS output, and once again, I like it. I like the way this looks for the potential ice accumulation, so we're going to go with this for now. Down to here through a lot of central and northeastern Texas, we're going to talk about a glaze of ice all the way up to maybe a half an inch of ice, okay? The further north and east you go, the more impactful the ice storm's going to be. Some significant impacts may happen if you get more than a quarter of an inch of ice, which is possible in the Dallas area. Looks like the bullseye for ice is going to be somewhere down here in the mid-Mississippi Valley all the way up into the Ohio River Valley, where the GFS is putting out in some places over an inch of ice accumulation. From Jonesboro to Paducah to Evansville, that's kind of where I've got my eyeball right now for the most ice accumulation. However, things are still going to change a little bit, and we're going to finalize this forecast tomorrow, I promise. If you're in the dark pink here, though, I would go ahead and start making preparations for a potential ice storm. It is milk and bread time. And then, of course, this goes off to the north and east, but the further north and east we get, the less confident we are in the forecast. Some significant ice accumulation is going to be possible down here in the mid-Atlantic region all the way up into the southern New England area. However, it is not milk and bread time for you guys, okay? Let's hold off a little bit. Unless you are actually craving a milk sandwich, let's not go get our milk and bread just yet. Huge shout out to our members over here. Once again, we're going to do a members only live stream more than likely tomorrow night. And then, of course, guys, I'll probably be live for multiple days publicly here on the channel covering this storm with storm chasers and all that stuff, guys. This is going to be a long week. So if you're not subscribed yet, what in the world are you doing? We're going to nail down this forecast tomorrow morning, so make sure you are here for that. Share this everywhere on social media, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.